2009. Hi, Google team. First of all, I want to thank you for the nice email you sent us, and the $20 million you will give to those in need. I would like to tell you how all this started. In the beginning, it was just me thinking to build a prefabricated house, which could be fast built and would last for at least 99 years. Under the current climate changes, this was no easy affair. That needed to be a self-sustained structure. Mind the earthquakes. As the oceans are rising every year, I decided it must enjoy positive buoyancy. It means that the house would float if water level rised. Another concern was sun exposure, as more ultraviolet and other harmful radiation is expected to reach the planet because of the holes in our ozone layer. I decided that the house would do perfectly without too many windows. About that time, I was thinking mostly in the thing those houses must withstand. They should be massive, enough to be piled together to form structures. They must be able to be covered by a thick layer of soil, maybe for years without a single crack on them, or eventually fall down from a truck without damage. And as I said before, I want them to float too. Furthermore, they have to be inexpensive to build, and the technology used has to be of general knowledge. Yes, I know it is an awful lot of specifications, but I didn't want to bypass any of them. So I asked for help. Family first, I thought, and asked my cousin for a talk. He is an architect, and soon we're discussing theory. He is more of the urban type than I, and he did not like at all the idea of cheap housing in the countryside. That made me think deeper. Who would live in a prefab in the country? Excepting some artists or students which can't endure or afford urban life. Easy to understand why we live in cities. Most of the jobs are located there. Social and cultural elements are richer in town. But what about the quality of life? It was not only a question of housing, there were social and economic issues involved. So, I did put aside my project of micromanaging a human family in an Eden garden. A whole tribe of techno-geeks should be taken into consideration. Housing and jobs for all, schools, hospitals, healthy food to be produced, and plenty of energy to run all that appliances we can't live without anymore. Well, here is what I come up with. Energy first. All is related to the energy. I will stay focused on renewable energy, because burning fossil energy is not a solution in the long run. And the nuclear scares me dead. We know a big deal about to produce and expend it, but how about the storage? As today my country is producing quite a lot of renewable energy. Hydraulic, sun and wind. Experience had taught the engineers that energy is easier to produce than to manage it, because the electric grid lacks flexibility to adapt to sudden changes of power. As the natural energy cycles are somehow unpredictable, and more units were added to the grid, it was obvious that entire sections of the production system should be taken down as the demand sometimes was lower than the production. And no, we can't export electricity during peak production, because our grid can't bear such stress. So, how we can store the energy acquired during peak production to use it later? This question is being addressed by means of an reversible hydraulic system that is as close as an electric battery as we can get. In this system, the energy produced when is not being consumed in the grid is being used to pump water to a higher altitude, and its kinetic energy being stored for future use. Now imagine a mix of renewable energy systems working together and using all the leftovers to pump up water at a dam. There is a potential for this new technology of at least 3,000 megawatts only in Spain. Most of the experts agree on that. About jobs. One of such energy compounds must employ some technicians. They would like to live not far away from it, and their families will add to the numbers. Some basic services will be created as a matter of fact, once the workers settle down. Who would be also interested in enjoying country life and an independent and reliable source of energy all year round? I think the owners of the internet data centers would. My 2 cents? You should undertake the whole operation, because it needs serious founding, planning, and computing power to run a complex system like this. But then you can add some administration system workers to the previous group. Now we have jobs for some people, and enough energy to work with. So, finally I did persuade my cousin that is not utopic to design prefabricated country houses. I believe you are concerned with such matters too, as they concern the whole planet. I am proposing you the collaborative design of a self-sustained internet node, capable to fulfill its goals and those of its inhabitants, combining high-tech and outdoor life, and recommend Spain to build the prototype, as many of the requisites are ready in place, and because we as country need one such example of sustainable future to follow. In the meantime, I guess I will continue to improve my 3D sketches to make my prototype of prefab float house more attractive. Hope to hear from you soon, and Happy New Year for you all.